My name is Denise Brock, and I am the Operations Director for GRACE, the Global Resource for Advancing Cancer Education. And we're going to talk today with Jared Bigman and talk about his journey with clinical trials and his cancer diagnosis. Jared, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Jared Bigman. I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma back in September of 2012, and I live in Orange County, California.
Great. And so remind me how old you were when you were diagnosed?
I was 22.
22. So were you out of college at that time? Were you out of school and working, or what was your life situation?
I was finishing school. It just about finished, and then started treatment during the end of my senior year. Finished treatment, graduated a couple weeks after that, and started working shortly thereafter, after 4 cycles of initial treatment.
When you're just getting out of college, you're thinking about what you're going to do next in life, what kind of job you're going to get, your degree that you've just gotten, your career aspirations, things like that. How did this affect how you thought about what you're going to do in the next years of your life?
That's a fair question. I think I had accepted a job as a sales manager at a florist I had worked at for a couple of years on and off during college. And I was excited for that opportunity. I really liked the people I was going to work with. But while I was in high school, I participated in a fundraising walk called Relay for Life in college. And that was where I really learned a lot more about the cancer community. Before I was diagnosed, I have no family history of cancer. So I'd never really known or thought that much about cancer previously, whereas in the last 10 years, it's been a very significant part of my life. But I got to meet other AYA survivors, caregivers, and it was a very massive community. I went to a university that was one of the top 3 collegiate Relay for Life events in the world, and so it's a very large event. And the community just felt so great and genuine and supportive. So I ultimately, a year after that, went on to work for the American Cancer Society and produce those community events. And that was really fun, and developed my career path now into nonprofit fundraising in the cancer space. And so now I fundraise for major gifts that support clinical trials and research at an NCI designated comprehensive cancer center. So it has definitely shaped my professional career path. Absolutely. I started fundraising now over 7 years ago. And it's been wonderful. It's been a really great career, and it combined some of my interests in the past into something I care about so much.
So when you were diagnosed, we talked a little bit about your family and the part they had in your treatment. How did they react when you were diagnosed? Was there a lot of how do you think the emotions, were talked about? How do you feel like your parents felt during that period of time? I mean, I'm sure, like you said, there was no family history of cancer, so it sounds like there was, it was a surprise for everyone.
Yeah, it was a definite surprise for them. I think they took everything very well. I think they were sad, but I think that there was always so much unknown of like, will this treatment work? Will we need to try something different? What needs to come next? What side effects will there be?
Right.
How will treatment make him feel? Like all of that type of stuff. And I think it's very normal and expected, and to understand and figure out as it happened in real time was tough. But I went through my first line of treatment very quickly and had remission. And so it was well received very quickly. Like I had an immediate response. Mm-hmm. And so that was like a kind of a big win. And I think that it really helped both my family and for me personally to understand that, this treatment is working. I think that was very reassuring and helped them feel good about it and helped me feel good about it as well.
Right. It sounds like you had a very supportive family And it was helpful to have them take these steps with you to really be there for you.
Yeah.
That's great. And because I know a lot of people wouldn't have the same situation. It sounds like you had a very good one with your family. So I think that's great. So you are married now,
Yes.
right? Yes. And you were you with this partner when you were diagnosed, or how did that whole thing really affect that part of your life?
No, she and I hadn't met until about 7 years ago. So not until later on. Over this time, I have had several recurrences that have required different clinical trials. And so it's been, I would say, very challenging at times to have a setback, to learn that there's recurrence, to go through the whole process of figuring out the next line of treatment. It comes with a lot of frustrations and a lot of uncertainty and anxiety, and it can be really tough
Yeah.
for both of us.
Did it affect the your relationship and how fast you got together, or how does it feel to have bring someone else into your life when you're dealing with these pretty heavy duty health issues? Um, has that ever been something that you thought about or had discussions about with her?
Yeah, it has come up a lot. I think it
Yeah,
is very difficult at times, but I can't control anything. All I
sure.
can do is take the best care of myself and um, work with the best doctors I can find and just try and keep going. And I think that that's that's the best anybody can do at
Hmm.
the end of the day. And just to know that that's where we are and that's where we need to be, is to find the best treatments possible and to continue getting them no matter what. I think it has caused a lot of stress, but I think everybody has their challenges and struggles. If it's not cancer, it can be, um, you know, mental illness, addiction, a hundred other things.
Hmm.
And nobody's relationship is easy. I think every relationship comes with challenges. I think that cancer as a chronic disease comes with a lot of very unique challenges, and it's just about making the best out of every day that you can.
Yeah. I think these things can affect relationships quite a lot, and it's something that I think we don't talk about as much for the younger population. So,
Yeah,
so how do you think, looking forward? I don't know, and again, personal questions, so feel free not to answer. But things like fertility and health preservation, things like that, moving forward, do you do you think about that? Is that something that's been a concern for you as a person really starting out your life still and dealing with, a diagnosis like this?
I didn't when I was 22. I was it was approached by my doctors, and I just kind of declined the conversation. Now that it's come up more over time, I think I feel more um, interested to pursue those conversations and pick them back up again and see where I am and what could happen. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's just a matter of checking and seeing.
Yeah. So when you were 22, it wasn't even something that you were looking into the future to see, like, what's the potential here? How about, have you at all been interested in finding community support as a younger person and finding groups that you can talk to about your diagnosis? Have you found community support? Is that something you were ever interested in looking into, or that you had trouble finding, or
Yeah,
any?
when I was first diagnosed, I participated in a lot of groups locally on campus, with Colleges Against Cancer had a support group that I joined, and then virtually Leukemia Lymphoma Society had several. One that was just for adolescent young adults, and another that was for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So those were all really helpful, and I was able to learn a lot about treatments, side effects, all kinds of stuff.
That's good. So it sounds like you didn't really have a problem finding community support. Were you comfortable talking to others in similar situation? Do you think your age affected how comfortable you were?
No, I was pretty comfortable overall.